Hey, what's going on, guys? It's Ian from MaddenSchool.com, and in today's tip, we're going to be going over a really great play that you can run either on the goal line or really anywhere on the field for an easy 10, 15, 20 yards. Now, this play is found in the Bengals playbook, which is a playbook we've been covering slowly through the past month, different formations in our Bengals ebook. And so today we're going to be going over just a single play from the gun Y trips weak formation called GL Fork Zig, or goal line fork zig. And you can run it on the goal line, or you can run it just anywhere on the field. Now, I prefer it against zone defense, and that's what I'm going to showing you against, but we also have some guys that can get open against man-to-man defense. We'll go over that a little bit later on in the video. So the first step we're going to do, put our tight end on a post route, and then our RB receiver on a flat route. Now you can run this right hash mark, left hash mark, middle of the field, doesn't matter. But what I want to focus in on is this really unique route that this B receiver is running, and how because of the two hot routes you put on the field here, the defense, especially when they're in some sort of zone defense, really drops back and takes themselves out of the play. I'm going to show you here first against like a cover 3, but I'll show you cover 2, cover 4, really any common zone defense. So watch the B receiver here, how he waits for that second, maybe 2 seconds. I don't really know how long, but maybe like a second. He kind of just chills there at the line of scrimmage, looking like it's almost a smoke screen. And then he starts cutting upfield, and you throw it as he's cutting upfield. And you can see how the defenders drop back into their zones. The purple zone out there on the right really goes all the way out there with the flat receiver. And so you have this nice little window for number 5 in this case to run into. Number 80 is going to take the flat defender. Your tight end is going to push any yellow zones deep with him. And you have this perfect little window. Now, if your opponent's, for whatever reason, sitting on that, and the vast majority of the time they won't be, unless you're playing someone who's seen this before, which really isn't too many people. If they're sitting on that, that's fine. That's why we have the other side. So let's just imagine, for whatever reason, this B receiver is completely covered. Your running back on this little hook to the left is going to also be wide open against zone, because the whip route that this receiver is running is going to take any sort of yellow zone, or I should say purple zone, or light blue zone to the sideline, leaving a nice little window for this running back shallow to get into. But the first read's always going to be the speed receiver. Right there. You don't want to wait until he sets, then you've kind of waited too long. Let me show you what that's going to look like. Like if you wait too long, he's not going to be as open. Like you can still hit him, but eventually when he kind of turns it into like a curl, then when he catches it, they'll just make the tackle. You can see there, like you can make it work, but you're not going to get any run after the catch. What you want to do is throw it as he's accelerating upfield, right about here, rack catch it, and now instead of like 8 yards, you're going to get 12 to 15. So that's the look against cover 3. But let me show you cover 4, some zone drops, some different things. So again, the play is called GL Fork Zig. Let me find like a cover 4 drop. And it's going to work very similarly, right? You know, RB receiver on a flat route, tight end on a post route. And one thing you can do is put this guy on a comeback route. Both the default zig or whip route and the comeback route do a great job against man in case it's not zone. So either one of those, it's kind of just your bailout man beater. But you can see here on cover 4 is going to work very similarly to this cover 3, right? You're able to throw that in there really easily. And then the same thing on that backside to the running back. If for whatever reason that B receiver is covered, it's not the end of the world. You can see how this guy has all kinds of room. I know it doesn't look like much. It's originally maybe like a 1-yard pass, but then you usually can get 5 to 10 more yards with very, very little risk here on this throw. You know, your opponent's user kind of has to declare one side or the other to cover that. So let's say they are instead like in a Tampa 2. It's going to work the same way. This is what it looks like. You can see how the defenders drop back. They have to respect the deep post route. They have to respect the RB receiver in the flat to the sideline. And because this B receiver just kind of takes this sweet time to get upfield, cover 2 plays a little bit better. But still, we're able to make that throw. And then still on the other side, we have our running back. And again, the cover 2 played a little bit better. But still, you might get a yard or 2 there. Or if we threw it earlier, maybe 5 yards. But it's a very low risk throw. So cover 3 wide open, cover 4 wide open, cover 2 kind of open. Even with zone drops set, so let's say we set zone drops on the defensive side of the ball, it works even better. So like, maybe they have curl flats at 10, something like that, and they're running a cover 3. Same setup. And you can see how this works almost even better. And like I said, you could run this close to the goal line too. Like, I don't love it from like inside the 5, but if you find yourself 8-yard line, 10-yard line, something like that, something like you can be in the middle of the field, left hash mark, doesn't matter. You can run this just fine, right? So wait a second. And notice how he's just wide open there in the middle of the field. That's what we're looking for, and that's why by default is GL Fork Zig is the name, or goal line Fork Zig, because this works really, really well as you get closer to the goal line. If your opponent knows it's coming, he might be able to sit on it, but if you bust it out once, twice a game, they're not going to see this coming necessarily. So that's the look on the goal line, but I also want to quickly show you man-to-man coverage. So let me go ahead and back out here. You don't always know whether it's man or zone, so you do need some options against man. The really good thing about this is you can tell it's going to be man-to-man coverage right away. So let's just call cover 1 hole. And the way our reads work is we're always focusing in on this B or circle receiver first. And what will happen with man coverage, because this is a really weird and unique route, is that cornerback directly over our B receiver is going to bite down hard right from the get-go. So this is man coverage. I should look to this X or square receiver on the return route or the tight end on the post route. So you look over there to the right, you can see he comes crashing down. So let's hit that return route. The other thing you can do, if you prefer, is the X or square receiver on a comeback route. And you can do this against zone coverage as well. You see the guy crashes down, you say, hey, like, I know this is man. I can get my easy 15 yards on this comeback route. And then depending on how good your tight end is, this post route can usually beat a lot of different coverages as well. It's kind of a one-on-one against his guy. But if your opponent isn't in the middle of the field with his user, sometimes you can hit that post route as well. Other thing you can do is if you prefer to put this running back on a triple option, that does a little bit better against man, but his default route is a little bit better against zone. So it's up to you with what you're expecting from the defense. Again, just read the corner directly over this B receiver to see if it's man or zone. He comes crashing down, it's man. So then, hit the X receiver, tight end, or running back. So thanks for watching today's tip. Until next time, take care.